Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where you can get caught up on some of the latest happenings involving the Cleveland Browns and then get a take or two along the way. We usually try to wrap it up all in about a ball of 10 to 12 minutes. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes and has subscribed to the channel, and also to all of you who jump in the viewer comment section and make your voices heard. Coming up on today's show, every quarterback got 11 on 11 work during Minicamp Day 2. We'll tell you what you can learn from the stats. All right. Also, how about this? The two veteran quarterbacks talked, the head coach talked, Deontay Johnson talked, but it's what one of the Browns cornerbacks said that I think should provide inspiration for all four of the quarterbacks going forward. Hey, we have the updated odds on who will start week 1 for the Browns, and one of the rookie quarterbacks is a distant fourth. And down in the viewer comments, somebody thinks I'm picking on Dylan Gabriel all the time, like I'm going out of my way. We'll find out what he means. But first things first, Minicamp Day 2, and there, well, if the Browns are on the field, all anybody wants to talk about are the quarterbacks. So we'll do the same. Hey, Jimmy has them out there watching practice yesterday. So the 11 on 11 reps. The first one goes to Dylan Gabriel, and then he was forced to worm burn it because good pass rush. And I thought it might have been called for grounding because I don't think he got outside the tackle. But anyway, I digress. He had a couple of other incompletions, and Joe Flacco took over, but it got better for Dylan as the day went on. Of course, they split the quarterbacks up again. There was a modified, 11 on 11 means there wasn't much of a pass. There's always some pass rush, but there's not a complete defensive line. Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders were on one field, and then Flacco and Pickett went to another field. Sanders went 7 for 7 at one point, and he found Brendan Bates on the final play of this modified 11 on 11 thing, and that's where Haslam was watching. Haslam was watching Shedeur. Kenny Pickett, though, he, in 11 on 11s, he had a nice throw. They are calling it a needle threading throw to Jerry Jeudy for a long touchdown, and then Shedeur also had another nice completion over the middle to Greg Larvidan, the man who he hooked up with on day 1. I don't know, there could be a connection there. Larvidan's the guy we got from South Carolina. Remember, we talked about him as being a potential slot receiver, sleeper slot receiver for the Browns this year. Another rep, Shedeur showing off the legs. He kept it and ran it in. And then Dylan Gabriel had 4 completions. He finished strong. A couple of nice throws to Trey McKitty and Blake Whiteheart. So all of the quarterbacks in one way or another showed up. Flacco got some action out there too. And I know the moment you've all been waiting for. Here it is, the quarterback tracker. ESPN Cleveland added again. Didn't use it yesterday. I mean, Flacco didn't even really participate. So today, he got 7 throws, but he threw a touchdown. 3 for 7, but look at Shedeur, 8 for 9. He just keeps putting up numbers, folks. And say what pass rush, no pass rush. Well, whatever. It's like we talked about the other day. The opportunity, he gets it, and he takes advantage of it. That's all you can ask. And here's Kenny Pickett, 6 of 11. Not on a bad day for Kenny Pickett. And then Dylan Gabriel, 9 of 16. Gabriel, man, he is getting a ton of work out there for sure. This even goes back into the OTAs, but as you can see by our lower third graphic, Coach Kevin Stefanski says, don't read anything into anything. He says, whatever you do, don't Don't sit there and try to count reps. Don't sit there and count completions and incompletions and everything. He says, just leave it all alone. He said they're working on the red zone like this, to get that tight window working. He says the running game, they're installing things still, but the running game is really not a focus right now. This is a passing camp. And then he talked about Deontay Johnson, who was out there, and he said that he knows things have happened to him in the past, but they're just focused on the future with Deontay. And then Deontay himself got up there and spoke. And one of the things he said, he just said he don't want to. They tried to ask him about what happened last year, and he's staying above it, and he's saying everybody's going to have their own opinions. You know what? I'm saying. He says, so at the end of the day, I'm the only one in the room who really knows what's going on. They're entitled to their opinion, so I can just go off what I know and then try to go and put out there my best effort, which is, I mean, so far, I mean, two days, two quiet days, and he's working hard. But he said last year is last year. I'm trying to change that narrative and move the right way and keep going. And even Kenny Pickett talked about he's trying to help him out. He's showing him where to go on certain plays and where he should line up. And so that's, I mean, they've got the relationship from Pittsburgh, and so he's got a little help here in Cleveland. And Stefanski also mentioned, he said he's not sure if Mike Hall and David Bell, if they're going to be even ready for training camp. And then it was Joe Flacco's turn. Joe Flacco got out there, and he said, when he was asked about, he's of course being asked about being a leader again, and he said Kevin Stefanski is the leader of this team. He's like, me and Myles Garrett and Joe Bitonio, all of us, veterans, whoever you are, everybody has to buy in and kind of fall in, right? And trust what Kevin Stefanski is. The plan is, and he even talked about he very similarly to his, they asked him about, you're not really getting any reps. He's like, Kevin has a plan, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to follow the plan. But then it was Denzel Ward who got up. He got up to the mic, and he said, what they're working on. He says he's working hard on finishing plays. Remember, we talked about a lot. They dropped a lot of interceptions last year. Could have had more. Their turnover rate was not as good as it was in 23. And then also getting off the field on third down. But he said that he's looking forward to picking off all of the new quarterbacks in practice. I mean, we have 4 brand new quarterbacks, and you look at it. I mean, Flacco was here 2 years ago. So he's looking forward to picking them all off during whether it's minicamp or training camp as the summer rolls along. And so, I mean, that should provide some motivation, right, for our quarterbacks, I would think. I mean, geesh, Denzel coming in hot. So, good for Denzel playing with the confidence. Now, if that doesn't motivate at least one of our quarterbacks, this might. The updated odds is who will take the first snap week 1 when the Browns open the season against Cincinnati. And here they are. And Joe Flacco, the lowest odds at plus 116. So a $10 bet win you like about $12. And then Kenny Pickett, hey, $10 bet will get you 23. Shedeur Sanders, 10 will get you 31. But look at Dylan Gabriel. If you want to roll the dice on Dylan Gabriel, he'll bring you back $100, folks. $10 bet. Or 100 will get you 1,016. That's how that works. And so, or 100 will get you 310 for Shedeur. But I was a little surprised to see this. I thought, whoa, when Dylan Gabriel was, I mean, he's 4th. And, I mean, a distant 4th. That's what kind of surprised me. I said, whoa, we got to talk about this. So, remember, we showed you the odds. It was probably, 4 weeks ago. So, and they were kind of like this, but Shedeur was too. It just depends on where you look. I mean, Shedeur's in the mix. He's not out of it. So, but I just think it's going to be a monumental effort to try and beat out one of the 2 vets at this point. I mean, because Flacco's a safe bet because he knows the offense, and, if they can get Pickett in there to start the season, I think they will. So they're giving him, he's getting the extra reps. He's getting more reps than Flacco at this point because I think they're trying to get him up to speed for training camp to try and keep that playing field kind of level when training camp starts. But there you go. If you want to make some money now, you can really make some money on Dylan Gabriel. Now, U.S. Open starts today, and so I figured I'd say the viewer comments are always a hole-in-one because they are. And here's how we're going to start today, though, because Joel McClain, 2898, he thinks I'm picking on Dylan Gabriel. He says, it amazes me how you try to downplay Gabriel. He says, you talk about him. Remember yesterday we talked about Dylan through that was one of the first, they had first up in the reps, and he says, you talk about him on that first video of the day, and the Browns put out the first video of the day was Dylan Gabriel, and they say, he completed a nice pass to Jerry Jeudy, but there wasn't any pressure and no linebackers. He says, then you mentioned Shedeur and how he completed a really nice pass down the field. This is what we like to see, but you ignore the fact that he had no pressure and no linebackers to go against as well. Okay, well, Joel, here's the thing. Everybody's getting 11 on 11 work at this point, whether it's modified or, if it's 7 on 7. I mean, everybody's getting work against something. But here's the thing. Dylan Gabriel is a third round pick. And I'm sorry, I have bias against Dylan Gabriel because I'm looking for somebody to say that this was a great pick. And so we've been burned by Andrew Berry in the past with these picks. We're always trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Jed Wills, Deshaun Watson, all these players we get that we think, it's that smartest guy in the room mentality. And so this is where everybody's kind of putting Dylan Gabriel. Now, I don't pick on him. I mean, I give credit where credit is due. He finished hot today, but he started slow, but he finished hot. I have to see him play against. It's going to be when we get not only through training camp. It's really going to be those combined practices and things. That's when I'm really going to make up my mind on Dylan Gabriel, and I'll check back in with you then. But I'm not trying to pick on him. I mean, and Shedeur. I mean, he's going out there and he's playing against essentially the same types of looks that Gabriel's getting, and I mean, he's 8 and 9. He's I don't know. I'm just looking at everything everybody else is looking at, and kind of making up my mind. All right, Thrasavulu, my man, 77-29. He is the best talent evaluator that only I know. But I think hopefully you guys are coming to know Thraso. Listen to what he said. He says, I really don't see Pickett on the 53-man roster come game one. He says if they're going to go back to the Stefanski offense, the quarterback needs to be able to be accurate downfield and make throws on the hashes and outs. He says, in my opinion, that's no Kenny. So, Thraso, that's the thing. Which quarterbacks are going to really fit into the Stefanski? I think they all fit the offense, but which one will fit better than the other? And, so far, Shedeur looks good. I just think that when I see everything I've seen of Dylan Gabriel, he struggles a bit, but I don't have a full slate. I can't, you can't see everything because I'm meaning the inside stuff, the days the media is not there. Like there's a lot of stuff going on, outside of these mini camps and OTAs that the media can see. So, but remains to be seen. I part of me just hopes they're showcasing Pickett to trade him. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, here we go. Braun Do for Idiots. Great handle. I had to use it. Talking about Nick Chubb. He said, I'd rather have $2.5 million Chubb than Ford. And then we'll double down with Steve Jackson, who said Nick is going to be the Texans' third down back. Now, two things here. One, I agree with Steve. That's where I was originally. I'm like, man, if we could just keep him kind of as our third back, our third down back, and then you have him there in case one of the other, if Judkins or Sampson get hurt, you can, insert Chubb, and you're not going to lose too much. But this is what it really came down to money because Ford took that huge pay cut. He cut his salary in half, basically, down to 1.75. So the Texans are paying more for Chubb than we are paying for Ford. So our third down back is costing us less than who's younger and and not as injured. Is costing us less than Nick Chubb. But, oh well. Okay, we're going to end on another huge, great handle here. Listen to this YouTube handle. He-Man loves the box. Now, I'm hoping the box is the Roddy Ricch song. And could be a lot of things, but I'm hoping it's the Roddy Ricch song. Because this is a G-rated show. He-Man says, the dog should be left on the side of the helmet and the paw print on the other side. Also, the pants should have a paw print insignia on them like the Texans with the bull. He's talking about the uniforms. Remember we were talking about the uniforms, the orange and the brown. Somebody doesn't like the orange and the brown together, but I say, hey, can't get rid of the orange pants. Because the dog thing, He-Man, is that was Hanford Dixon started that, and yeah, we still, have the dog pound, but it's not like, that's just more of a, kind of like a thing we do. It's not like the team, the team we're the Browns, but our predominant color is orange, only in Cleveland. People might lose the only thing they consider putting on the helmet is the elf. You see the elf over my shoulder here? They've talked about doing that, and then people weren't even happy about that, so they stuck it in the middle of the field. So I don't think they're ever going to touch the helmet. And I don't know, the paw print on the pants. I don't know, maybe for inspiration one day, but I don't think anything will ever go on the Browns helmet. Okay. The last day of minicamp is today, and we will be assessing. We'll break it all down, not just, tomorrow. We'll go throughout the whole weekend. We'll see what we have learned from all of this. But, hey, all you can ask from the quarterback is all of them is improvement. And I think we're seeing that. We're seeing improvement from all of them as the days go on. And I'll tell you what, folks, they are all very well spoken. It's just so refreshing to have four quality people in the room who are, good football players. And we'll see where this goes. But that, to me, is the most refreshing thing of minicamp so far. That we're not just handing the keys over to Deshaun Watson and then hoping and praying he might learn how to play football again. That's gone. So that is the most refreshing thing that is happening right now. All right, folks. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.